I have received word through the Sons of Elrond and the Wandering Companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
If we are fortunate, we may have thrown Agendar's plans into disarray for a time. But what has passed here since we left to find Aragorn?
All has been quiet. There was an alarm sounded at Buckland shortly after we parted company, but it seems to have amounted to nothing.
Have you heard anything of Aragorn? He was urgently seeking a certain halfling when we parted at Bree.
All I know is that Aragorn is rumored to have left Bree in the company of 4 hobbits of the Shire. I can only assume one of them is the hobbit he was seeking, and that they are now bound for Rivendell. There is worse news, however. On the night before they departed, the Prancing Pony Inn came under attack by unknown assailants.
We had yet to make a count of the dead the night you sent us to Aragorn, but I had hoped there would be more survivors.
Some few are away patrolling the borders of the Shire, for even now we must attend to our duty. But sadly, many of those who were wounded in the attack died within days from some evil ailment. Even those whose wounds seemed minor. Perhaps Solana can tell you more.
We have returned to offer you our service. How may we best do that?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you 3 have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere.
Then what would you have us do?
I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendaur, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
These Black Riders, the Nazgul, they have traveled far from Mordor. It seems strange they would make such a journey merely to attack the land of the Halflings. Do you have any idea why they have come?
I do know why they're here, but it is not for me to pass that knowledge on to others. Perhaps Aragorn or Elrond will tell you more when you reach Rivendell.
Yes, it will be good to be home once again. Yet it is a long journey from here to Imladris. We had best begin.
Perhaps there is something you can do for me on your way.
You have but to name it.
I sent 2 of my rangers, Kalarin and Luin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way. From which direction would they be returning?
They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow Downs.
The Downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow Downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. Eradan has great skill as a tracker. If Luin and Kalarin made it as far as the Downs, he will likely pick up their trail. Farewell and safe travels to you all.
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing draughts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Perhaps I can help. What is wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
What can you tell me of this Black Breath?
It is some power wielded by the Black Riders, the 9 Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Elrond is the only victim who yet lives.
Then let us provide that aid. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound. These things I have done countless times. The Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.
There is often wisdom in old rhymes. Can you recall the words?
It was years ago. Let me think. I believe it ran something like this. When the black breath blows, and death's shadow grows, and all lights pass, come Athelas, life to the dying. That's all I can recall.
What is this Athelas the rhyme speaks of?
An herb, commonly known as kingsfoil. It has little medicinal use, though some find it comforting for headaches and other small complaints.
Perhaps there is more virtue in Athelas than you know. Have you any of this herb?
No, I have none. You'll have to forgive me for neglecting to lay up a supply, but you see, no one bothered to tell me that the 9 ring wraiths would rise up from ancient legends to trouble us here. If I had Athelas, don't you think I would have used it by now?
Does Athelas grow in these regions? I would be willing to go in search of it.
Perhaps you could find some at that. The plant is not native to Middle-earth. It was brought to these shores from lost Numenor, and planted in the lands where our ancestors used to dwell, including the Borodans to the north.
How will I know Athelas should I come across it?
The plant has many long, smooth leaves, but you might best find it by its scent, a sweet, pungent fragrance. The Borodans hold precious few such plants.
My road leads to the Borrow Downs. Should I find Athelas growing there, I will return with a supply.
You're soon to be off again, are you? Well, I have a few things among our supplies that may help you on your way. Perhaps a few extra arrows for your quiver, and a few of Solana's healing drafts may come in very handy as well. Take a look.
Welcome back, Loremaster. I'll admit I didn't expect to see you here again. I thought perhaps you'd seek the safety of Rivendell, if anywhere can be said to be safe in these times. It's good to see you haven't left us.
I discovered these relics amid Old Kingdom ruins. Could they not be used to make a weapon of quality?
These are relics of my ancestors, made in a time before the lore of Numenor dimmed. If I had the use of a good smithy, maybe I could make something of worth from these, but not here in the field. If you're bound for Rivendell, you'll find skilled smiths among Elrond's folk. Try taking these to one of them.
Lúwin and Kalaran are much on my mind. I would be glad if you would search for signs of them as you make your way north.
We are on our way. Farewell, Halbrand.
Something tells me you're not in the market for a rake or shovel.
There is little in the way of art or gardens in Bree. I wonder if the towns of men are always so dismal.
Welcome. What can I do for you?